So there are some people who fly drones, specifically these FPV drones, who make the claim that this is in fact not a drone, but it's just a quadcopter. While that is true, this is a quadcopter, but in my opinion, it's also a drone. Now, why would anyone make that argument? I have two separate theories as to why I think that people may have this opinion. The first reason is that I think that some people just want to have some sort of pedantic opinion about things and just be superior and elitist about this niche hobby. But that's probably a really small minority. I'm trying to be nice and say that that's just a minority of people. I think most people are probably concerned with associating our hobby with drones used in war. And that makes sense. I totally understand that.
But the thing is that the same FPV drones that you're using right now are also being used in war right now. So it doesn't even matter. You fly a drone, soldiers fly drones, everyone has drones. There's consumer drones, there's military drones, there's commercial drones. And even if you call it a quadcopter, everyone else is still just gonna see it as a drone anyway.
Now that's just all speculation. I can't sit here and assume why somebody thinks the way that they do unless they explicitly tell me, and I'm not gonna generalize everyone. All I want to do is try to lay out some sort of argument to why I think, A, it doesn't really matter what you call it, and B, that, I mean, it's technically a drone. I mean, when you think about it, like, it's a drone. That's just, it is what it is.
One thing I want to mention is don't confuse me creating this video as actually caring about what you call your drone or your quadcopter or whatever. This is pretty much just me making a video to make a video because I'm out of ideas.
Now, the biggest claim that I've seen as to why FPV drones are not drones and they're just quadcopters is because they're not autonomous.
So let me address this autonomous argument. FPV drones, acro FPV drones, are manually operated from a radio. You have to control every movement to make it go. Versus something like a DJI Mavic, you can control manually, but a lot of the flying is done autonomously. It can pretty much fly on its own. So therefore, a DJI Mavic, by this definition, would be a drone, but an acro FPV drone is not.
But that argument sort of falls flat because at what point does a quadcopter that is a drone stop being a drone? Because technically, I can take my 5-inch FPV quadcopter that has no autonomous functionality at all. I could flash the firmware and put ArduPilot or iNav on it. I can then put a GPS on it, and I can set up functionality on that drone to be autonomous. Is it then a drone? Magically with some software? It's like, oh, it's a drone now, but not yesterday. Yesterday it was a quadcopter, but today it's a drone. It's just easier just to call it a drone. So if you just showed some random person your acro manual FPV quadcopter and asked them, what is this thing? Without any sort of context, they would probably say, oh, that looks like it's a drone. Or most people aren't gonna ask you, oh, does that have autonomous features on it? Because if it doesn't have autonomous features on it, then it's not a drone. So most people don't really care about the difference or the distinction between autonomous or manual or whatever, which even if this distinction was an actual distinction, you can look in the dictionary and see exactly how a drone is defined.
So the dictionary says an unscrewed aircraft or vessel guided by remote control or onboard computers, such as a small remotely operated rotorcraft, usually with a mounted camera. That's literally an FPV drone.
And you may be thinking to yourself, oh, you trust the dictionary? How can you trust the dictionary? I don't know if anybody's actually thinking that, but I'm sure somebody is skeptical of the dictionary for some reason. Well, if you don't have any sort of core basis to define things, then you can just call anything whatever you want. So then at that point, this whole thing doesn't even matter.
So basically, the distinction between an autonomous drone and a manual FPV quadcopter is an arbitrary one. There's really not that much of a difference except for the software you decide to put on the drone. So it doesn't matter. I mean, this whole thing none of this matters really, but it's an interesting argument, something fun to talk about, I guess. I don't actually care. Call your drone, your quadcopter, whatever you want. I don't care what you call it. It doesn't affect me. So I guess with that, sign up for my Patreon or something.